So generally the convention is all the matter particles like electrons, protons and so on, you show them with solid lines. All the force particles you kind of show them with wavy lines. Okay, so this was the force, you show them with dotted line here. So this is the force particle. But the solid line is like your matter particles, like the electron. Okay, so now something happens in quantum mechanics, right? So now the idea is in quantum mechanics, so in classically, there is something called a classical path, right? So supposing I throw a ball from here to Somnath, depending on the direction I'm throwing and the speed with which I'm going, there is one trajectory which it takes and reaches him, right? So that's what happens classically, right? There is unique trajectories for things to go depending on how you throw. But quantum mechanically, all possible ways of reaching Somnath from me, the ball will take. And it will take the classical path with a higher probability. But it takes all the other paths with lower probabilities. And for heavier objects, the classical path would be at a very high probability, almost with probability 1, it will take the classical path. That's why we always think that that it takes a definite path. But when the objects we are dealing with are very, very light, then the way they go from here to there is very, very fuzzy. They do not go in definite trajectories. So they are actually taking all possible paths with varying probabilities, and they are reaching the end point.
So there's an equation just for the probability of...
So that's called the Schrodinger wave equation. For example, so that is one way of doing quantum mechanics is to say it's a very simple equation actually, but it's an equation of the probability amplitude function.
So if you put a higher mass in there, it just becomes does it decay to the, does it approximate to the normal standard Newton's?
So when you make the mass parameter heavy, it will approximate to the that's called taking the classical limit. Then it approximates to the fact that the other paths other than the classical path will have almost zero amplitude.
So is this a uniform probability distribution or
no,
a Gaussian shape or?
So it would be like a probability packet which is traveling and which is spreading.
Yeah.
So it would be something, generally it would be something that disperses like that. Right, but precisely what it is, the equations of physics will tell you how like you can construct the system in any probability in quantum mechanics, right, and then how that probability distribution changes is what the equations of quantum mechanics will tell you. Okay, so now in terms of particle physics is basically a combination of quantum mechanics and relativity. Okay, that's what particle physics is. So in particle physics, this idea of all paths. So basically what you say in quantum mechanics is that all histories, you have to sum over all histories. So all ways of reaching from one point to another point, you have to sum over all ways with some probability amplitude, you add it all up and then you get the probability of reaching that place. So every history is important, not only the one way to go from one place to the other place. Right. So therefore in quantum mechanics you have things like quantum tunneling. Like if you have a big hill and you roll a marble but not with enough energy, classically it just go up and come down. Right? In quantum mechanics all the histories happen with some probability. So even though that marble doesn't have enough energy, there will be a probability that it goes to the other side. Because even the history that it goes on top, even the classically forbidden history, that it goes over the hill and comes that way, will happen, but with a very small probability. It will happen. So, and that's called quantum tunneling effect.
Okay.
So the way you could think of that is that as it's climbing the hill, so the kinetic energy is there, right? And if it's a very high hill, high potential, right? So eventually, reason it doesn't go is the kinetic energy keeps decreasing until the kinetic energy becomes zero, right? And then it comes down.
Right.
The particle comes down classically. Quantum mechanically, since it can cross, so you think of, okay, the energy is zero, then the energy of that thing, the kinetic energy becomes negative.
Okay.
And then it just keeps going. So the potential plus kinetic is still is still conserved, total energy is still conserved, kinetic energy is simply negative. And then it goes over and then it goes to that side, and that has a property of happening. So so as it's traveling in between, the energy can just become negative, right? Like, so that classically it's forbidden, quantum mechanically that can happen. But the total energy, potential plus kinetic, will always be the same. But we think that kinetic energy is half mv squared, and it should be always positive. So the moment it's zero, it has reached the maximum height, and it should come back. And in the classical limit, that's what happens. Quantum mechanically, some probability of tunneling is there. So now, so this sum of all histories means that if supposing I have an electron and the electron is simply traveling, so the first diagram of quantum mechanics will be simply the electron traveling, doing nothing. Okay. The next diagram would be an electron traveling, emitting a photon, or let's say we are talking about electromagnetism, emitting a photon and absorbing it, and keep going, right? So initial state and final state you have, but you can reach the initial and final state without absorbing, emitting the photon,
Okay.
with absorbing and emitting the photon, with absorbing and emitting a photon, and with absorbing and emitting another photon. So you have to sum. The final probability will be just the electron going, plus this diagram, plus all ways in which you can do these things, right, would be the way you think the electron is actually propagating. So the electron propagator becomes so the electron can go emit a photon, that photon, some other electron can come absorb that photon and get a kick, and that electron can again give another photon, which this photon absorbs. So all of these complicated diagrams you add up.
Why is this important? Why is
Why am I saying this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a very, very good question. Now why I am saying this is that these are called self-energy collections. So it is not like one electron emitted this photon and another electron received it to get a kick. The same electron emitting it got it back, right? So now what happens is that if supposing this electron had a momentum P or an energy E, right? If it's supposing, so energy and momentum you think should be conserved. So if this is P, let's assume that this took away energy L. Then this will have P minus L energy. So P minus L plus L is P. Right? Now this L comes here, it captures this P minus L energy. P minus L plus L is again P. So this remains P. So the energy with which it came, the energy with which it went, it's the same. Energy is conserved. But this L can be anything. It could be infinity. So what quantum mechanically is that these virtual particles that it emits and absorbs can have any energy L going all the way from to infinity. So now these are called loop diagrams. So quantum mechanics, when you do quantum field theory, it typically involves these loop diagrams, and because these loop diagrams permit essentially there are infinite possibilities, right, to go, and when you calculate these probabilities, you get infinities in your calculation. So if you evaluate this diagram, because L can go to infinity, this diagram will give an answer that it's infinite. So then the whole theory starts. So any simple calculation you do with quantum field theory, because of the self-energy corrections, like an electron you no longer think of as an electron by itself. You think of it as constantly emitting photons, absorbing photons, emitting photons, absorbing photons. And therefore the correction to its energy, the correction to its mass, the correction to its charge, everything becomes infinite because of these things. Right? So because those corrections become infinite, then you have trouble. Like you have problem.
Is this random?
No. So you can exactly calculate how it becomes. So there is a measure. So you